Hey everybody, welcome to That's Football. I can't speak. Manchester United's next manager could be Graham Potter. That's the big overnight story. Why am I talking about it on That's Football? Because I want to know what you think. I know we get Man United fans watching, but there's a lot of Man United fans who don't. And I, as a Manchester United fan, I'm massively intrigued about what you think, whether you're Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal, even Man City. What are your thoughts on this? And also, if Erik Ten Hag is replaced, and we have to, discuss that possibility, where would Man United go next? Not where you want us to go, because you probably want us to get Potter. You probably want us to be terminally shit for years. What manager do you think is out there that could actually improve Manchester United? Because I've said many a time, take Jurgen Klopp from Liverpool, take Pep Guardiola, take Arteta. No, they're never going to come. But hypothetically, I still think they'd fail, because Manchester United's legacy over the last 10 years is the structure's terrible. They pay bad money, they pay bad wages, the player power. It's a toxic environment where I don't think anybody really succeeds. But if this is a new turning for Manchester United, where would you go? Now, the Graham Potter story, if you're waking up to this or listening to this and going, what's Goldbridge talking about? This is the second time in the last few weeks that Manchester United have strongly been linked to speaking to Graham Potter from, credible Manchester United journalists. So it's not just paper talk. There is a real momentum to this story that Ineos would like Graham Potter as Manchester United manager. My big issue with this, and I spoke about it on the United Stand this morning, so I'll keep it short for those who didn't see it, is that he ain't up for the job. I like Graham Potter. When he took the Chelsea job, I've done videos on here. Don't sack him. I wanted him to do well. But it was an experiment I was happy for another club to take. I didn't want my club to take it, and I certainly don't want them to take it now. At least when Chelsea did it, he had the momentum of doing well at Brighton. But, it was a risk. It was a risk, and I wanted him to do well. As an English coach who'd done a good job at Brighton, I wanted it to work at Chelsea. You don't get many English managers managing the top clubs in England. And it didn't work, and it didn't work because he was out of his depth. It didn't work because he didn't have the aura to manage a top club. It didn't work because the players never respected him. And it didn't work because he didn't have the structure around him at Brighton that obviously is very, very elite. So why would Manchester United look at that failure and go, let's try it at our club? Because with all due respect, the Manchester United job is more difficult than the Chelsea job, because Chelsea have won the league in the last 10 years. Chelsea have got a lot of money. Man United don't, and there's a far bigger scrutiny on that. So if Potter's sat there doing post-match press conferences just saying week after week the lads gave their best, how is he ever going to work at Manchester United? And why would anybody at Manchester United or part of Ineos think that he would be a good choice? Are we simply missing something here that's glaringly obvious, that Graham Potter could be the man to take Manchester United back to the top? Because I don't think so. And I also think that this would be, for me, probably what Chelsea tried to do with Potter. I don't think Potter was ever in control of transfers. That January transfer window was a Potter one a year ago. Do you think Potter was there going, get Enzo Fernandez, get Mudryk, get Badiashile, get João Felix? I think he was sat there going, yes, I'll have that. I don't think he had any control on it. And maybe that's what United are looking at here. Maybe it's the Dan Ashworth thing at Brighton and Newcastle, where the manager doesn't really get a say on the signings. They get given signings. Well, that's not what happens at Liverpool. That's not what happens at Man City. It's not what's happening at Arsenal. They are the three best clubs in England at the moment, and their managers have a say in transfers. You put Graham Potter at Man United, you're just putting a coach on the training ground. The manager has to have a say in the players that they're getting. So, look, it worries me. Get your comments in below. Am I missing something here? What do you think? Honestly, when you've stopped laughing, what do you think about Graham Potter as a Manchester United coach? And then secondly, if Ten Hag was to be replaced, and I don't think we can do it in January. I think that's a bad idea to do it in January. You've got to get through this review, and if you want a good manager, you're going to have to put the groundwork in. Where would you go next if you're Manchester United? Because for me, it's like pissing in the wind. There's a very big risk of splashback. I don't know where we go next because I don't know what the structure is. We've never had a competent footballing CEO. We've never had a competent sporting director. I'd like to see Ten Hag work under that, because I think whoever comes in next working under that will have a big advantage over Van Gaal, Moyes, Mourinho, Ollie, Rangnick and Ten Hag. If you bring De Zerbi in from Brighton, it's potentially the same risk as Potter. Will the players respect De Zerbi? The toxic dressing room at United is not the same as a hard-working dressing room at Brighton who look up and respect their manager. Ancelotti's just signed the new contract at Real Madrid, so he's probably not going. But at least Ancelotti would come in with masses of respect and experience and the aura to come into Manchester United and, you know, start putting things right. Emery, I don't see him leaving Villa, and again, managing Aston Villa is very different to managing Manchester United. Graham Potter we've discussed. Zinedine Zidane, well, a lot of people say Zidane, but he's not managed Real Madrid for years and he still hasn't learnt English. I think there is zero desire from Zidane to come and manage in England. And also, what is Zidane? He's an ex-legendary footballer who managed a legendary Real Madrid side to 3 Champions Leagues in a row. Managing a Real Madrid side with elite players in it and a Man United side that's toxic is not the sort of job I think Zidane wants to do. It's certainly not the job. Pep doesn't take jobs where it's hard work. Pep doesn't take jobs where, you know, you're financially challenged and you've got a toxic dressing room. So I don't think Zidane would go anywhere near this job. And I don't think he's necessarily the right guy for the job. Zidane's the guy you bring in when you've got a really good set of players and you want somebody just to get the best out of them. I don't think Zidane's a rebuilder. And you know, and then you're talking about Hansi Flick, you know, maybe Nagelsmann, maybe a hipster manager out there, Xabi Alonso. It's Man United, amazingly, have exhausted every option in 10 years. They've burnt them all. They went for the Premier League manager with potential in David Moyes. They've been for the old, experienced, been there, done it, aura manager like Van Gaal. They've been for I've played the game best manager in the world, Mourinho. They've been for the ex-player. Oh, that's a fantasy. Let's see if that works. They've gone back to an experienced head like Rangnick. And now they've gone for the hipster coach in Ten Hag. What's left other than retrying that? Oh, should we try Carrick because he's doing well at Middlesbrough? Should we go for another hipster coach like Xabi Alonso if he takes it? Should we go for an experienced coach like Ancelotti, like we did before? Do we try and get one of the best managers in the world? We'll forget that. They're all managing at clubs that wouldn't, you know, let them go anyway. So there's no identifiable obvious option for Manchester United at the moment. And maybe that's why they're looking at Potter. Maybe they're looking at a puppet that they can just put in place who coaches on the training ground and, you know, the director of football, the sporting director and the CEO manage the transfers and manage the club. The problem with that is it empowers player power. Manchester United is a club that's fallen hard because of player power. You put a coach who's just there to coach with very little power, the players are running the roost again. It's a huge thing. Look, for me, get to the summer with Ten Hag and then reassess it. But the Potter story is incredible. Get your comments in below. Make sure you smash a like on the video. Very interested personally to see just what you all think about this, because you'll all have an opinion. And can I just say as well, big shout out to everyone in 2024 who is listening to the podcast. Lots of new people leaving comments and getting involved. Goldbridge Saves Football, out every Tuesday. Check out the podcast on iTunes and Spotify. Give it a search. Also got a brand new one out tomorrow. Looking forward to the FA Cup and our Premier League team of the season so far. So get involved in the podcast movement. Thanks everyone for watching. I'll speak to you all in a bit.